We had a witness a few months ago that talked about his family situation there and the deaths of some of his family, and that was impacted a lot on us. But you said it affected you emotionally. So if you were to tell us, so that we can make sure other Canadians know, what are some of the things that you would say to us about those impacts, those emotional impacts, that would kind of make it real for Canadians here?
Well, I guess I would mention three.
Okay.
One was a meeting that I had in the camp on my first visit to the camp in the fall, and in which I said I'd like to have a chance to meet with people in smaller groups, and so they allowed me and one or two others to come with me, women, to listen to women talking about what happened to them in their villages. And I think you've seen the reports. But when you think about how it really is a crime against humanity to use rape as a weapon of war, because we're in a war. In a history of warfare, we think of war as being between standing armies, where people know what the rules are. And there are rules of combat, and there are rules of engagement, and there's rules about how you treat prisoners of war, and there's rules as to, what's going too far. And, we've created, since the establishment of the Red Cross in the middle of the 19th century, we've created standards in the Geneva Conventions, and we've gone through a long period of time where we've done this. And I think what's happened, in particular in the last number of years, is that these are wars which affect civilians and are directly impacting civilian populations in the most brutal ways. And I think that is something that will carry with me forever. The second was and I've told the story. My report is "Tell them we're human," and I've told the story many times where a man I talked to was very articulate, very controlled, very much sort of in charge of his emotions. Seemed to be. We had a very good conversation about what had happened to him and the discrimination that he'd faced, and how the struggles that he'd had to get to university, the struggles that he'd had to do things. And he as I was saying goodbye to him, I said, I'm reporting to the Prime Minister. What would you like me to tell him? Mm-hmm. And he grabbed me and he started to cry, and he held me for a long time, and he said, tell him we're human. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I think one of the things about hatred mm-hmm. is that and the process of crimes against humanity and of genocide is that it's about dehumanizing people and pretending that they're not human. So it's okay to kill them. It's okay you can wipe them out. They're not really people. They're just something else. And that's the path to breaking these things down, and to killing people. It's terrible. But I have to tell you something else too, and that is that the camps are full of young people. Mm-hmm. And the thing that I felt as a father and a grandfather mm-hmm. is these are just kids.